In our last class, we looked at Redux toolkits, and in the course of the class, I explained that. Sorry, someone wants to join the class. So, in the course of the class, I explained that we bring in this case slice. This case slice is coming from the Redux toolkit. This. So, inside it, you give it a name. That is the name of this particular slice. Then, you give it an initial state. The initial state will be the initial state of the values in your store. Then you have reducer. I mentioned that Redux itself got its name from reducer. Sorry, someone wants to join. So I explained that Redux itself got its name from reducer. So you create your reducers. These are my reducers. Alright. So whenever you want to change anything in your store, you make use of these reducers. Then we now create this. This is the store. You get a variable. You can call it any name. Equals to, you bring in configure store. Configure store is also coming from the Redux toolkit. It's coming from Redux toolkit. So when you do this, you pass in reducer. Then we are saying create a property called person and let it be the reducer of this slice. So we are saying the value of this person is person slice dot reducer. Then I also explained something called action. I said whenever you want to change anything in your store, you call on a function called action. Action will be the one to trigger the reducer. Then the reducer will be the one to change things in your store. So here we are exporting these actions so that we can call on these actions in our components now. Then all of these things, all of these things, they are not peculiar to React, right? Either of the React of the projects you are doing, you can use it even for Vue app also. So we want to now connect this with React.js, and that is why we need to bring in something called provider. Provider will provide our React application with our store. So you wrap this, you are wrapping everything here with this provider. And we are saying that it's expecting these attributes or prop, this prop called store, and we are saying let the value be this my store. So now everything wrapped inside this provider now can have access to everything in our store. So when it's time to use the value of your store in any of your components, you just go to that component and call on use selector. Let's go to landing. Where is this coming from? I want to quickly check something. Okay, landing page. So at this point now, we brought in something called use selector. Use selector from his name, it tells you to select something from the store. So it's a function, just like other React hooks. Use selector is a React hook. Just like other React hooks, it is coming from this. Now, like other React hook is a function, you call on this, but this expects that you pass a callback here. A callback. We are saying that whatever you put here stands for how your store. This state stands for everything in the store. And we are saying return state.person. So we are returning this person here. Where is it? We are returning this here. So that gives us access to this initial state. So whatever you have in your store now will be available in this place. But we are targeting just the person. So save it as this. We are destructuring name. Where name is coming from is this name. Yeah, we are only interested in the name. Sorry. So we are interested in the name. So this destructures the name out for us, and we are saving it as this name, right? So my name is name. My name is name. So that displays this. This is the overview of what we did in our last class. Then we also talked about dispatch. Use dispatch. Use dispatch is whenever you want to change anything in your store, you call on this use dispatch. So we brought use dispatch in from React Redux. We trigger the function use dispatch. We save it as this variable dispatch. So when it's time to do anything, you call on that dispatch function, that variable. This is a variable. This is actually a function, right? So when you click on this button, it's a call of function myfunc. This will now dispatch. It will dispatch this action. Now, remember I said whenever you want to change anything, you call on action, right? In fact, in the real sense, you are dispatching an action. So this is what you are doing is you are dispatching this action set name. Where this is coming from is this action here. This action set name that we exported here. By exporting it here, we can import the action here. Then that's why we are dispatching that action here. Then we are passing a string to it. And the reason we're able to pass a string is because when you dispatch this set name, it will be the one to call on this now. Then I explained in that class that when you dispatch an action like that, whatever value you pass there like this, whatever value you pass there becomes the value of payload. A property on it called payload. So it becomes the value of that payload. Then you're able to do this. This is the recap of last class. Any question? If you understand it, say I understand it. If you don't understand it, say I don't understand it. Hello? Hello? Hello?
I understand, sir.
Alright. Okay. Alright. John Wack. Sherifat. Do you understand it? John Wack and Sherifat. Can we proceed? Today's class is going to be continuation of that class.
Yes.
Alright, okay. So let's continue from where we stopped in the last class. So in the last class, we stopped on this place, this payload, where we passed this. And I said, when you pass this like this, and you call on this, you dispatch this action, it comes there. Where is it? It comes there, and you're saying actions dot, it's going to have a property on it called payload. So that's, we are now saying state.name equals to actions.payload, right? Let's assume I want to add new value to this language. I want to add a new value. So I can say, let's get a button. Add language. So let's have an input also for the user to type the language he or she wants to add. Right? So inputs. So let's get a state to handle that language first. Oh, well, since you're not using this new name, we can remove it. Okay, let's language sets language paste it. So we want whatever we have inside. Where is the error coming from? Where is my, okay, yeah. So whenever we type anything here, we want it to be the value of language. So we do it this way. Event set language. So event target value. Right. So whatever you type here at any point in time becomes the value of language. It becomes the value of language. Right. So when you click on this button, we want to call on that function. Let's say const upside and click. So we can dispatch right here if you want to. We can say set language. So I want it to be whatever you have here. So I can pass this language now, this language to it here. I can pass language. So when you click on this button, it's a column, this set language. Then to pass that language, that is whatever you have in this input, whatever you have in this input will be sent. So let's save it here. So if you're going to save it, you come here and you add, I'm coming, what am I doing? Oh, I'm coming, what am I doing? Sorry. You dispatch it. You dispatch an action. Like this. So whatever you pass there, you want to dispatch this action that you exported there. Add new language. You want to dispatch this action. So before we can dispatch the action, you have to bring it in. Add new language. So this has imported it automatically for us. Then when you click on this, you dispatch this. Then this will now call on this language now. It's the same thing, just like this. The only difference is that we are not getting a separate function for it. I'm doing this so that you know that you can dispatch right from this place instead of us getting a function. You can dispatch right here. When you click on this button, you call on this your dispatch. Then what action do we want to dispatch? You want to dispatch action add new language. So it's going to dispatch this action, and whatever you put here now, just the same way we put Moses here, but instead of putting a static value, we are putting a dynamic value. So language at any point in time will be whatever you have within this input. Will be whatever you have inside this input. So that will be sent to this place. When you dispatch like this, the action we send it to the reducer. Now we come here and we add actions. So instead of saying that now, we can now say actions dot payload. Remember, payload stands for whatever you pass here. Payload stands for whatever you put here. Just the same way. Here, payload stands for Moses. So here too, payload stands for whatever you. Yeah, the payload stands for that Moses. Same thing here. Payload stands for whatever you put when you are dispatching. Right. So on the page, let's display the list of languages. Let's display all our languages. Presently, we have JS and Python. Let's add some other ones. So on the page, I can say, let's get a separate component to display languages. So let's create this as display languages. Display languages. Equals to you return this. So let's return this. So we can map here. What we want to do is that when this component is primarily to display the languages. I can say I write. Then we now put all the languages there. So in any of our components now, we can bring in something called use. We can bring in something called use selector. Use selector. Remember, purpose of use selector is to select anything in your Redux store. In your Redux store. So bring in use selector. Oops, sorry. Use selector. So we are using our use selector to select. Remember, whatever you put here stands for the state of your stuff, everything in your stuff. State. Return. We are only interested in the languages. Let's go back to our stuff and see how it looks like. So this is our stuff. We just say state.languages. That will give us everything in our stuff. Right? So I go back to the display languages. So you can say state.languages. Languages. So let languages equals to state does languages. So this will select everything and it will save it as these languages. Now languages stands for the list of languages now, the array of languages. Now we can map to it here. We can say languages dot map. So language index return this. You can return a div like this, or a key tag. I speak language like this. Give it a key. Key equals to your index. Then export it out. Oops. Export default display languages. Right. So we have this component, and this component, all it does is to display the list of languages for us. So let's bring it in on these components now. You can say display languages like this. So we brought in these components, display languages. Then now all languages will be displayed at this point. Now let's go back to the page. Is there any error? Why is it not displaying? Yeah, it's never quite. But I'm coming. This compiles successfully. So let's come here and say cannot be properties of undefined map. Let's take a look at what's happening. Okay. Display languages. Okay. States, those languages. Let's see what's going on. App.js. These are states. Then, oh, sorry. Let's go back here. I'm coming. State.person. I'll comment out this part for now. What happened is this. The reason for the error is let's come here. In our reducer, we created this person to stand for this everything here. So this should be state.person.languages. Do you get it? This should be state.person, then we can now say .languages. We can destructure languages here now. So I think that should work fine now. Good. So I speak JS, I speak Python. Let's refresh this. Why is this JS server not leaving the console? This is the console. Okay, it has left. So I can add a new one. I can add, let's say, oh, is it I speak? It should be. Maybe I write. Uh, why? So you can add a new language. I can say PHP, and it is being added to that list of languages. So you can add as many languages as you want. And, any questions so far? Let's have a quick recap of what we've done so far. Here's our app.js. We have this here. Whenever you call on this reducer, it's going to help you to add a new item to these languages. But remember, you don't call on reducers directly. Your action, this here, will be the one to call on the reducer. So we need to find a way to call on this action. And whenever you want to call on an action, we call it dispatch. You dispatch an action. So to dispatch this action now, we added it to this button. This button. When I click on this button, you are dispatching this action called that new language. And you are passing a payload here. So whatever you pass here now will be sent as a value instantly. It will be sent to your reducer. Then that will be sent as the value of your actions.payload. So I think that's all we've done so far. I have a simple question for us, and it's so simple that I expect us to get it almost immediately. But I want to see if you've been following me. If I want, presently when I click on this button, where is it? Go order. When I click on this button, let me change this one. Go order. You can say set name. When I click on this button's set name presently, the name becomes Moses. The name becomes Moses. So if I want it to be whatever I have inside this input, what am I to do? You can help us out. Are you with me? Okay,
we are going to use dispatch.
Okay. Okay, what should I do? What changes do I need to make to my code?
In the on click of the button that sets the name, we would have to add dispatch to it.
Okay, yes, now here is the code right before you. Where am I to change? What changes do I need to make to this code? Here's the code from the beginning to the end. So what changes do I need to make? Okay.
Under that, my func.
Okay.
I say dispatch, then set name.
Okay.
And add new name also. The way you did this other one.
Yeah, tell me what to do. I'm just obeying you. Whatever you ask me to do, I will do. So just tell me what to do.
Okay. Dispatch.
Okay.
Set new name.
Okay, I should remove this set name. So I change it to set new name, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Then
I think where we use the used state up that
Okay.
set new name. We will
Okay.
have to
It's
do a new name there.
not name.
Exactly.
Name supposed to be there instead
Okay.
of empty name. Yes,
Okay.
new name.
Then set new name will be is a function
Okay.
that takes new name.
I'll come here. I'll put new name here, right? Is this what you are saying?
Yes.
Is that all? Do I need to make any changes there?
Any changes here? Okay.
No, let's run it together and we make corrections together. But I will give you another one again. Right. So let's assume I typed Sherifate like this, and I click on this. Now, error, error. So why do we have this error? Why do we have this error? Here is the reason. Please, are you with me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we are with you.
Whenever you want to dispatch, you are not dispatching this. You are dispatching this action. The action here. So the action here is set name, which corresponds. Remember, I said once you create with Redux toolkit, once you create a reducer, it will automatically create an action for you that bears that same name.
Yeah.
So you are dispatching this action set name. We don't dispatch this function here. No, not these ones. You are dispatching that. So you change this to set name like this. And then you can now pass your payload to it, and this will work fine. It will work fine. So you are dispatching an action, you pass this here. And with that now, the problem is solved. So let's refresh and add a new name. Yeah, good. Another question for us. This time around, I will remove all of this. I will remove all of this. Then, what I want you to do for me is this. I want to display this department, software engineering. I want to display it on the screen here. Like my department is software engineering. That is whatever I have here. What am I to do? So please tell me what to do.
Okay, okay, button.
No, not button. Once I just get to the page, I want to
No.
say my department is whatever department I have here.
Okay.
So what am I to do?
Go back to that app.js, please.
Okay, here is it.
Which department?
Let me break it so that it becomes, let's break it to the next line like this.
Okay. It will be dispatch set department.
Okay. What am I to write? I'll come here and say dispatch set department, right? Ow.
No,
Okay.
I'm going to create a function for it.
Okay, like this. Or what should I call the function? Just tell me what to write and I will write it. Kisley, are you there?
I'm following, but just I'm not really getting you like that, Shabon. Following.
I think I can sense it. I can sense it. Now, what happened is, let's go right again.
Okay.
When you have your state and you want to fetch anything from your state, you bring in something called use selector. All we are trying to do now is to display or to fetch a value from our state. This is not the time to use dispatch. Dispatch is when it comes to changing something in your state, right? Do you understand?
Yeah.
But when it's time to just fetch, I want to fetch a value from my state or from my store. What you do is you call in something called use selector. Any question? So the use selector is coming from React Redux. We installed React Redux last week, right? So you bring in use selector like this. This use selector is a function. So whatever you put here stands for everything you have in your store. It stands for everything in your store. And this is just one out of the many things that can be in your store. This percent slice, this is one out of the many things that can be in your store. So if I want to fetch this data, all of this, I'll say, let me close this contact. I'll say return, you can return with this arrow. A, remember, A stands for everything in your store dot person. So this is going to return this particular state for us. Do you understand? And the reason we are saying dot person is because of this. We have already put a property here called person, and we let it to stand for all of this here, like to stand for this reducer. Person slice dot reducer. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
So this here, return a dot person, this is going to fetch everything in your store for you. You can now save it as a variable. Let's say var equals to this. So when you say console log var, you see the values in your store. You can see here is the objects, everything that you have in your store. Any questions so far? But we are only interested in the department, right? We are not interested in everything. I only want to fetch the department. So I can say dot department. But instead of saying dot department, I think I will better destructure it here. It's still the same thing. So I can now say console log department. So I'll see the software engineering now. Let's refresh this. I have the software engineering. Any questions so far? Do we get it? Sharifat, Kingsley.
Sir, I want to ask that dispatch, is it only for the action stuff that's...
Yes, you dispatch an action when it's you use action when you want to call on your reducer to change something in your store. But if you are not changing anything, you don't dispatch an action. You just use this selector to select values, to get values from your store.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can now say my department is a department like this. And this will give us, my department is software engineering on the screen. My department is software engineering. Next is, I want to add this button. When I click on this button, I want to change the value of this department to computer science. What am I to do? Change department. So please tell me what to do. When I click on this button, I want to change the value of department to computer science. What am I to do? Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. Just tell me what to do.
Ah, yes. We have to use dispatch here, right?
Yes, you will use dispatch.
To set the department. To
Yes.
change the department. That is set a department.
Yeah, tell me what to do. Where should I put the set department? Should I put it here or here? Like, what should I do? Tell me what to when
No,
to put it.
after this let department, we are going to create state for it.
Okay, like this. What am I to do here? What should I call this state?
Set department, comma, new department, set new department is equals to use state.
Please, just please take it small, small. Set department, comma. Okay,
Set new department is equals to
set new department is equal to. Okay,
use state
okay,
empty string.
okay.
Then we can create function for it, or we can write it. Okay, we can create function
Okay,
for it. So
what should
on that button, you are going to use on click.
what should we call the function?
We can call it change. So
Change. Okay. You must like APC. Okay.
uh, then under it, we are going to use dispatch
Okay. Dispatch.
tech department.
Dispatch. Okay. Oops. Dispatch like this.
This dispatch. Let's use it like this first. Dispatch set department.
Okay, like this.
The department in bracket of it.
Okay, in bracket again. Okay.
Department.
Okay, I'll put department like this.
I don't know what I'm saying this right though. Under button, we are going to write the function under button.
Like this.
On click.
Okay. Then what do we do after click? What should I write?
Change.
Okay. Like this.
I don't know what I'm saying right.
I know we already have a lot of errors there. Okay. Dispatch is not defined. So, what's going on? Kingsley, can you help us? So let me tell us this.
Okay.
In the next class.
Maybe we did not import it.
Okay. In the next class.
It was not imported.
Okay, what should I import?
Sir, the network is cracking. I can't hear very well.
Please, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So
use dispatch. Okay, it is use dispatch.
Okay, I should remove this dispatch and change it to use dispatch. Okay, I've changed it to use dispatch.
Okay.
So in the next class, I will ask us this. I will ask us this again. Right? Please go and prepare. Now let's do this together this time around.
Okay.
What we want to do is this. When you click on this button, we want to dispatch an action that will change the value of these departments from software engineering to computer science. Now, the first thing is you bring in use dispatch, but it's already here. Right? Use dispatch is a function. You trigger the function and you save it in a variable. You can call it dispatch. It's not a must to call it dispatch, but it's just the custom that we call it dispatch. Const dispatch equals to use dispatch. Bring a function use dispatch from this actors, trigger it and save it inside this called dispatch. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you can now use this dispatch to dispatch any action of your choice.
Right. Okay.
So let's say we have a function here, const. Let's say change name. Oh, sorry, change department. So when we call on this function now, we want to dispatch this one. That is, when you click on this button, you want to call on this function change department, like this. So we can now say dispatch. And I also mentioned it the other time that when you want to dispatch, you dispatch an action. So we need to come here and see if there is any action there called that's this. We have a function here called sets department. Do you understand?
Yes.
So this is what you dispatch, not this. In fact, for now we are not using any of this. So you dispatch the set department to bring it in. Set department. Let's see if it has been imported. Okay, so bring in the set department, then you dispatch it. When you dispatch, you call on it like this. So if you want it to be a parameterized function, you can pass your parameter here, but for what you want to do, you don't need it, right? So when you click on this button, it calls on this, it's going to dispatch this set department. So you pass the function here. Once you call on this now, instantly it comes here and it turns the code here. So you can now say this dot department, state dot department equals to computer science. So when you go to the browser now and click on this button, these are warnings, don't worry, just ignore that. This has changed to computer science. But let's now assume we want it to be dynamic. Then we can now, want it to be dynamic, then you can now pass payload here. But since we just want it to be like a single value, that is, whenever they click on it, every time it will change it to computer science, not a dynamic value. And this is how you go about it. Any question? Do we understand the way it works?
Yes, it means if you want to edit computer science, from there we are going to use payload for it.
Exactly, yes. Let's say we want to change.
Okay.
So we can say, let's go to buttons. Instead of even setting it as an input, we can do something like this. So when I click on this first one, I want it to change to computer science. When I click on this second one, I want it to change to, let's say, electrical engineer, or okay, no, this change to computer science. This second one changes to physics. So I can say changes to computer science, CSC. The changes to physics. So when you click on this now, you can pass computer science there. And when you click on this, you can pass physics there. So when you click on this, you know this will be sent to this function, right? You know this is a parameterized function. It will be sent to this function. Let's remove this for now so that we take it step by step. Now when you click on this, computer science will be sent to this function. You can now receive it here. My department. So we can say dispatch. What are we dispatching? We are dispatching this action called set department. Then we are passing my department to it. So we are passing this. So it's passing this here. So I can come in. I can now say actions that payload. Do you get this? So now I can change this to this or change this to this. Any question? Any question? Hope you understand everything we did tonight.
Yes.
So we stop here tonight. In next class again, we continue from now. We ask us all of this. Please go and go over it. Just go over it. Good night. Thanks for coming.
Okay, thank